Welcome to the first Bloke in a Pub of a new decade, and to celebrate the fact we're joined by the most enormous spot that I've named James that has reappeared on my nose, and there's a callback to a previous Bloke in a Pub there. Just really going to prove that even though I'm approaching 52 this year and we're in a new decade of enlightenment and greater focus on social responsibility and our ethical obligations to the planet, is that there is still no justice. So rather than making predictions about what's going to happen this year and getting those completely wrong, as everyone does when they make economic forecasts, I thought what would be interesting to talk about, well, what are the major events on the calendar that we should be thinking about and how they might affect investments. We are days away from leaving the European Union and actually Brexiting, which then looks like a conclusion, but it leads into at least a year of negotiations around what the trade deal is going to be, with the incessant volatility around that. Although it's got a little bit quiet from Hong Kong, we still have the pro-democracy protesters there in the gateway between basically the West and China, with huge effects on currency movements and trade of goods going there. But the really big event of the year comes in November, which will affect the whole year for investors, which is the US presidential elections. Donald Trump, the incumbent president, likely to stand for re-election, likely to be nominated by the Republicans. This would explain why it is that he's bringing an end to the trade war with China, because presidents are most likely to get re-elected if the economic news is good during the run-up to the elections in September and October. In the meantime, we don't know who the Democratic nomination is going to be, and we won't really know that until June or July when they have their Congress. The Republicans will probably nominate Trump at that point as well. Then we have a couple of months of campaigning where it'll go backwards and forwards between the two, and market sentiment will change depending upon who it seems is in the lead. Most likely, unfortunately, if one was making predictions, is that Trump will get re-elected, because it's very unlikely that an incumbent president during a positive period of economic growth doesn't get re-elected. But we'll just have to see. What does that actually mean for investors? Well, we've got a couple of really big events on the calendar this year: Brexit, US presidential elections, with the potential to introduce volatility into markets. All this says really is to maintain a broadly diversified portfolio as we do, and just to be mindful to include strategies that we've discussed in the past to mitigate risk and volatility. So that's where we are, that's where we're going, and we'll be back with more updates soon. We'll see you then.